Welcome to another wonderful episode of As Real As It Gets. You already know who the panelists are. We got Jalen, the journalist, a.k.a. Jalen Wilson. He's a beat writer for the Writing Alumni, lead NFL analyst, and NBA analyst for Real Ones Productions. How you doing today, Jalen?
I'm doing good. Got 2 quizzes done today. Did good on them. Got 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 on both of them. Can't complain. I'm doing good.
Hey, man, that's the R1P way, man. My man, Weezy Wee, man, he hard to find, man, but we got Weezy Wee in the building. R1P's Chris Broussard, R1P's Stephen A. Smith. What's good, man? How you doing, Weez?
Cool.
You coolin'? Hey, man. Hey, you remember back in the day, I know Jalen kind of young. You know, you come out to the game like, woo, woo. You know what I'm saying? You get ready for that layup line, man. So we about to have a layup line right now. I'm going to ask y'all a series of questions. Y'all just give me a quick answer. Favorite cereal of all time? Jalen, go.
Favorite cereal?
Of all time, yes, sir.
Lucky Charms.
Lucky Charms. I already knew Weezy's was Frosted Flakes. Favorite cartoon of all time? Jalen, go.
Favorite cartoon? This isn't in your air, but Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Weez, Dragon Ball Z, favorite cartoon of all time. Jalen, name one NBA player who would translate well in the NFL, and why?
You want a non-obvious answer? I think Terry Rozier. I've seen him make multiple safety-like plays in the NBA. So,
Weez, one player that's in the NBA who would translate well to the NFL.
I think Lonzo would be a lockdown corner.
Hey, Lonzo, a strap up. I'm surprised I didn't. I'm surprised I ain't say Rajon Rondo. That's the answer I was looking for. Bro, Rajon Rondo can throw the rock, man. I got one last question. How important is legacy in the NBA? Jalen and I were talking. This was way before pre-production. We was talking earlier about Russell Westbrook's legacy. And I think a lot of times, a lot of players are remembered by whether they win a ring or not. Y'all know in football, I like the Bills. I always talk about it. Jim Kelly won one ring. He'll get way more respect on his name than he do because he was revolutionary for the NFL. He called his own damn plays for the longest. What will Russell Westbrook's legacy be? Jalen, go.
It will be a player that was great, good to / great, but his play never resulted in rings.
What will Russell Westbrook legacy be? Weez, go. I know that's your boy.
Another Charles Barkley.
Another Charles Barkley. So, and also, give me your favorite players of all time. It don't got to be like the greatest player of all time, but like, y'all know, well, my favorite player of all time. Yes, I'm a big Jordan fan, but my favorite player is actually Ray Allen. Who's your favorite player all time? Jalen?
You already know this. It's Rajon Rondo.
Hey, my man Rondo, number 9. Weez, who your favorite player? A certified killer. All right, man, that's our layup line each week. I'm going to come in. I'm going to ask a array of questions just to get everybody warmed up, get y'all warmed up. It can be anything. So if you got some ideas, put down in the comment section what questions you would like me to ask in next week's or next month's or next year's layup line. We have breaking news. We have an update on Anthony Davis' injury. Luckily, he had an MRI today, and they say he has a calf strain. It wasn't the Achilles. I know everybody was thinking it may be the Achilles, but he's only expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks. Keep in mind that the All-Star break is coming up the first week of March. Can the Lakers adjust in his absence? I'd like to hear from you first, Weez.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be good. Like, when he ain't played these games this year, they been good. Know what I'm saying? It's only regular season. They gonna get to the playoffs regardless. Like, it's only one main goal, so protect your main player till you get there. That's how I feel.
Facts. Jalen?
I agree with Weez. They should be good. And as he said, they've been good, games. He has been out this season. Also, it's still going to be regular season, so it's not like, he's only going to be out 2 to 3 weeks. So it's not like, it's going to be out the whole season. So they're going to be going back by playoff time. So they're going to adjust well between these 2 or 3 weeks. They still got LeBron on their team, so I don't suspect they will fall down if they do start losing a lot.
Yeah, and I know last night when Anthony Davis did get injured, they didn't look well the rest of their game. I think it was because in the back of their mind they feared the worst, wondering whether it was an Achilles injury. Now I want to say something. So Maverick Carter, one of LeBron James's business partners, says LeBron James spends approximately $1.5 million on his body per year. Do you think players now not getting injured is part luck and part preparation? Is not 100% of either one of them. Dude, like a player like LeBron, who rarely gets injured, he doesn't sit a lot of games in this league of where, back to backs, you may not see the star player. How has LeBron James for so long been able to kind of stay injury free for, let's say, 95% of his career?
Who you want to start with?
You go ahead, Weez.
What was the last? What was the last part of the question? My bad.
Pretty much, I was just trying to figure out how is LeBron James, even at the age of 36, able to stay healthy for so long.
Yeah, cause he dedicated. He take this serious. You know what I'm saying? This is life for her. And who I saw I think it was Dwayne Wade on the No Chill podcast. He was talking about you know what I'm saying, LeBron spending that much money, but he know other players that did spend that much money and ain't work out the same for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Cause I guess they wasn't as dedicated as enough, or LeBron just a freak of nature or something. I don't know.
He really is.
Dedication though. Definitely dedication.
Jalen.
I think it's just because his game, he doesn't rely on his athleticism as much as other players that's as athletic as he is. Like I told you a couple days ago, that Russell Westbrook didn't expand his game as much as LeBron. Like Russell Westbrook still relies on his athleticism. LeBron could take away at his athleticism and still rely on his IQ, his very high basketball IQ, and his playmaking ability. So it's like he has expanded his game to a 3-point range now to where he shoots better than what he did when he was 24, 25, 26. Like he shoots better now than what he was at that age. It's the expanding of his game and the spending money part. So but I mean if that's not the reason, he might just be a robot.
At this point, it wouldn't surprise me if LeBron James was a cyborg. Alrighty, up next we got the Utah Jazz. They are right now, they have the best record in the NBA, 22-5 at 22-5 at the moment. I have a question for y'all. We're gonna start with Jalen. Can the Utah Jazz make a deep playoff run? And when I say deep, I mean conference finals or better.
Yes, if they can avoid two teams, and that's the Clippers and the Lakers, of course. Now, it depends on. Now, I say Clippers. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't know how long Paul George is going to be out. Nobody knows how long Paul George is going to be out. I don't think the Clippers know how long he's going to be out. Or if they do, they're keeping it a secret. I think they can make a deep playoff run. I think Donovan Mitchell, ever since Shaq has told him, that you're not a leader, basically, it seems like he has taken a step. Even before that, he was taking a step forward. So I think they can make a deep playoff run, considering the fact that Bogdanovich is also playing well. If he keeps playing like this, they really can be a dangerous team in the playoffs.
Weez.
Yeah, they probably can. But Bogdanovich, that was a big miss for him last year in the playoffs. I don't think they had him. But to be honest, I feel like they like the Raptors before the Raptors got Kawhi. They gonna have the best record in their, know what I'm saying, in their conference or whatever. They could do that. They might not even finish with the best record, but I don't think they could do I feel like it's way better teams than them when it comes to the playoff. In the 7-game series, you know what I'm saying, I don't think they might get to the second round, but I don't.
Because they had correct me if I'm wrong, they had an absolute meltdown opening round of the playoffs this past season, didn't they?
Yeah, they blew a 3-1 lead.
Yeah, but before the Clippers blew one, the Utah Jazz blew one. So do you feel like coaching, and this is an open question, I'm not going to either one of you, whoever feels like answering it. Do you feel like coaching is the difference? Because they have one of the better defensive teams in the West. They got a leader in Mike Conley. Weez know I've been a Mike Conley fan for a long time. Donovan Mitchell, I think, is an MVP dark horse right now. What is it? I mean, of course, you got LeBron. Of course, you got the Kawhi Leonards of the world, and Dame showing people what time it is. What do y'all feel like the Jazz are missing to make that deep playoff run?
A second.
Go ahead, James.
A great secondary option next to Donovan Mitchell. They have a good team right now, but if they don't get like Rudy Gobert is probably arguably their second or third best player. Mm-hmm. If Rudy Gobert is your second best player, you're not going to make a deep playoff run every time. You're going to get bounced out in the first, second round. But they've been missing that. They've been missing that second piece, and they tried to get that with Mike Conley, but he's only brought so much to that team, and he is playing better this year. But I just think it's the secondary player that's right. That's right beside Donovan Mitchell.
Great take, Weez.
I feel like they don't need too much. They got a nice little starting five, a nice bench. Jordan Clarkson probably 6th man of the year.
Great point.
It's just up to them. Like it's what's like how they gonna react when it come down to that crunch time. Cause they got a great coach too. You know what I'm saying? I think it's just them. It could be who they run into also, but at the end of the day, you on the court. Like, it's y'all on the court. Y'all gotta figure it out.
Hey, great point. The Utah Jazz, like I said, they got the best record in the NBA right now. I think they bring something to the table that a lot of teams in the NBA right now can't bring, and that's defense. Something that meant something, I feel like, before the Stephen Curry era, maybe even before then. Like, it wasn't unusual to have a 82 to 86 ball game. Like now, these scores are so crazy. And Bradley Beal had a great quote about the Washington Wizards. He said they couldn't guard a parked car. So a team that emphasizes defense, I'll take that every day of the week. So the NBA has always seemed to be, well, not always, at least since Adam Silver has been commissioner, they've always seemed to be like on the right side of social justice. Recently, the NBA has enforced every team, pretty much every arena, to play the national anthem. And it was kind of after Mark Cuban was saying that he wasn't even playing the national anthem. Correct me if I'm wrong, or he hasn't been sending his players out during the national anthem. I know it directly has something to do with Mark Cuban. How do y'all feel about that? Because I feel like this is the first time in a while, outside of the All-Star game, where the NBA kind of, because I felt like they always were the trailblazer for these type of things. But what's going on? Is this something, or is everyone overreacting? Go ahead, Jalen.
When you say is it something, do you mean, is it something, that's a big deal?
Yeah, because,
I would. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, like, should the players feel a way about this?
I think they should, just because, to me, I never cared for standing for a national anthem. Like, even in school, I hated standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. When I go to big games, I hate standing for a national anthem. It's not that big of a deal. It's not like I'm trying to disrespect the flag. I just don't care to stand for it. And if players don't want to stand for it, if the team owners or GMs don't want them to stand for it, they shouldn't have to. Or they shouldn't have to listen to it, if they don't want to. If I don't want the national anthem played at my home games, why should I be forced to play them at my home games? Like, because as you said, Mark Cuban, he hasn't played the national anthem at any of his home games this whole season. And I don't think that's a big deal. It kind of is what it is right now. So I just don't, I don't feel like the NBA was right for making them start playing the national anthem. But I'm not the NBA. I'm not Adam Silver, so I can't control that.
Got you. Go ahead, Weez.
Yeah, I don't think they should, especially if they don't feel like it's for them and ain't speaking on nothing like that benefit them. Like, they shouldn't have to play or listen to it. Like, obviously, it's ain't equal in this world. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, and then especially with if that national anthem, like, wasn't there some racist shit behind that shit or something?
Well, it was definitely made, created during the time in which we had slavery, and the pretty much when Kaepernick started kneeling, the Star Spangled Banner speak of freedom, but right now, as an African American in this world, do you really feel free? Like, we're forced to have the talk with our children when they get a certain age, like, if you get pulled over, make sure you keep your hand on the steering wheel. You at yes sir, no sir, like, so pretty much the thing behind it is we're talking about freedom. We're speaking of equality, but are we all equal? So that's kind of where the whole national anthem thing, you know what I'm saying, how that all came about, if that makes sense.
Yeah, shit. They want to do that. They should make everybody sing Amazing Grace, too.
Yeah. Hey, man. It's one of those things where I feel like recently, until very recent, like, Adam Silver has made all the right moves. Like, when I heard him say that, I was like, is there some type of political agenda behind this? Because it didn't make sense. This and forcing the All-Star game after teams like the Lakers only had a 71-day layoff. It just don't seem like an Adam Silver type of move, and there has to be some type of agenda. Did you all have anything else you wanted to add to the national anthem topic?
Nah, I ain't have nothing else.
Definitely thought that was interesting. Definitely let us know how y'all feel about this down in the comment section. Do you feel like NBA has taken a step back from social justice? Do you feel like there's like any like political agenda behind this? Let us know. We'd like to hear your thoughts, good or bad. Up next, the dunk contest. This one is frustrating. I remember Jalen told me this a few days ago. I'm not excited about it. The dunk contest has always been a beloved event that took place on Saturday nights, a day ahead of the All-Star game during All-Star weekend. How do y'all feel about the possibility of the dunk contest taking place at halftime of the All-Star game? I want y'all to be brutally honest. Go ahead, Jalen.
I mean, it might boost it might boost the All-Star game a little bit because, I don't really think the NBA player will be invested into the All-Star game this year. So it might boost, the All-Star game and the fan excitement this year. But I don't really care for the dunk contest anyways. Like, besides the Aaron Gordon years and the Aaron Gordon versus Zach LaVine year and the Aaron Gordon versus, who was it, Derrick Jones Jr. last year? Like, the dunk contest hasn't really been exciting. Like, I don't really think it does nothing for the All-Star game. I just think that personally, sometimes I do get the idea that it's like dumb because like y'all trying to cram everything into one. Like, if y'all gonna do the All-Star game, if y'all gonna do the dunk contest, keep it the day before the All-Star game, as y'all always do.
Weez?
Man, fuck the dunk contest. That shit whack. Eric Gordon and Black LaVine, that was the most exciting joint since like I was a child. Like, fuck the dunk contest. That joint. Oh yeah, man. Nobody cares. I'm more excited to see a 3-point. What they say about the 3-point concept?
That's a great question. The three.
Hey, they can have that dunk contest shit. I don't care what they do.
That and the skills competition. I've always loved
skills,
it.
I definitely want to see the skills.
Yeah, especially if Melo in it. Imagine Melo and Lonzo in it.
Man, what? Shit, I'd rather see the celebrity All-Star game.
Right, and those used to get cracking Friday, and then you had the rookie game Friday.
Shooting stars. Shit.
Yeah, it just I don't know. I mean, and it goes back to the original point. They weren't supposed to have an All-Star game. They were supposed to get, I think, March 1st through March 5th off, something like that, 5 days off.
Yeah, 5 days.
Mm-hmm.
And now they're not getting any days off, and y'all want players to be happy and energetic about this. Like, I think the nostalgia for the dunk contest isn't just the dunks itself. It's more so, who are the judges, the players on the sideline dressed up, laughing, you know what I'm saying, having a good time. Yeah. That's what the dunk contest was just like before you go out, you know what I'm saying, you may go to a cookout during the day, and then later on that night you may go to a club or after party or something like that. Like, that's what the dunk contest was for. It was to get you amped. I can honestly say last year's All-Star game was more exciting than All-Star game in a long time, and I think Chris Paul came up with that concept of the point system. That way you had a points you had to get to, and it made like them last 3 or 4 minutes of that game fire. It was very, very competitive. So I don't know.
I definitely like that idea that CP and player union they came up with. I hope they keep that going for sure. But I feel like, what I'm saying, like niggas don't want to be there, so they might not even be into it as much.
Right. So it's here on As Real As It Gets, we're gonna keep it extremely real with you. We say no to a dunk contest during the halftime of the All-Star game. We almost want to say no to the damn All-Star game in itself. Now, it's not fair for players who play in the bubble and play deep into the bubble. It's not fair at all. Alrighty, so we're gonna move. What you about to say, Weez?
I was about to say, just get them niggas to jump on the trampoline or something.
Yeah, man. Like, I let the mascots have a dunk contest for crying out loud, man.
Sorry, shit.
So there has definitely been like a change of the guard in the Eastern Conference standings. If you've been following this, if you look at last year, well, not even last year, this past season, I guess we can call it, Miami Heat was in the finals. Did you all know right now that the Heat are 11-5, and if the playoffs started today, they will be out? Now, they will technically, with the play-in, I believe the NBA is doing this year, they would still have a chance to make it in, but they will be out. The Boston Celtics, who finished, I think, as the second or third overall seed last season, right now, 13-13, they haven't been playing good ball, and me and Jalen was talking on pre-production. He was saying really since the whole COVID situation, the Celtics haven't been playing good basketball, and they're dealing with injuries and Kemba coming back and him trying to get his feet wet. So has there really been a change of the guard in the East? Right now, the Sixers have the best record, but even teams like the Bucks, like, what are they? Their record isn't, I mean, it's decent, but it's not that good. What are they, like 15-10 right now?
Yeah, and they're second in the East.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna be too much of a change. Like who? I'm trying to think of all the teams that made the playoffs last year, but I feel like the
Raptors have certainly taken a step back.
Yeah, Raptors, Philly. Yeah, I think they just getting it together. It's gonna be hard to get a good rhythm, especially if like all that COVID protocols, people missing games and all that. That's gonna delay some stuff. But I think in the end, like I think them same teams like probably -1 or 2 because the Nets made it last year, right?
They did.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like I feel like the same teams they gonna be there. Like far as the East,
you still think the Heat gonna be in? You don't like the Hornets over them. You don't like the Knicks over them. And then I think the Magic made it last year as well.
Yeah. The Magic. The Knicks gonna take the Magic spot.
The Knicks gonna take the Magic spot.
I think the Heat, they gonna get it together because they like. It's just. Ain't Gordon Dragic, he out too, right?
Yeah.
There's been some injuries. They just gotta get it together. There's still plenty of time left in the season. Like they'll figure it out. They a good team, good coach. You know what I'm saying? I think they'll get it together.
Jalen?
So the question was, will there be a change of the guard in the East?
Yeah, like, because we've seen, like, the past, 2 seasons, I would say, that the Raptors, the Bucks, and the Celtics Sixers are up there as well. Kind of been been the better teams in the East. This year we're seeing the Nets. They're third seed in the East right now after the playoffs started. And the Pacers were what did the Pacers finish last season? They were like
they was like what, like 5?
Yeah, they were like 5.
The Pacers were the 5th seed, I think.
Mm-hmm. I mean, and I'm honestly
I forgot about the Pacers, but they probably could slip out of it too.
Yeah, I'm honestly rooting for teams like the Knicks and the Hornets. I think New York. I think Madison Square Garden is still the mecca of basketball. It'll just be nice to see them play some playoff basketball in the Garden. So go ahead, Jalen. And I want you to speak on the Celtics specifically.
Oh, for the Celtics?
Yeah. What's going on with the Celtics? Talk to me.
What's going on with the Celtics? Marcus Smart just being out. I mean, I always say Marcus Smart is our most important. Bro, I've been saying that since last season. Like, Marcus Smart is our most important player, to where, yeah, he isn't our best player, nowhere near our best player. He isn't our, best scorer, best passer or anything, but he's our leader. He's our most experienced player on this team. Well, besides Tristan Thompson, but Tristan Thompson doesn't really count because he's not really in a rotation like that. But like, Marcus Smart is the Celtics leader. He's their
Draymond.
He's their Draymond Green.
Great parallel.
He was keeping the Celtics together. And without him, they don't got that same intensity that they normally do, because the guy isn't there, and that guy is Marcus Smart. But will there be a change of guard in the East? I think it will, just because the COVID, like the Heat are having riddled COVID season. The Celtics, have, and then you saw, then I don't know if you heard like any player say this. Like, the player said, yeah, COVID in the last 2 weeks, but like it takes so much out of you, like it drains you sometimes. And yes, these are world class athletes and the best basketball players in the world, but like, it affects players differently, and I think it has affected the Celtics and the Heat differently a lot.
That's a great point, and it's something I ain't think about, especially when you were speaking on Marcus Smart, and then we said Draymond Green. Those players are necessary, man. It's like the movie Class Act, man. Like, you what'd he say? Hey, Weez, what's the famous line that kid said in that movie, bro? My bad, Duncan Penderhughes said in that movie, man.
Where they was at?
Or they was at the restaurant. Yeah, Blade Brown was in that joint. He's like, I'll smack you, boy.
I'll smack you, boy. But I like it.
And then he turned around and hit her with her. You looking at? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. I feel like it's like when you out on the block and you with your guys, like you ready to go to war. Like, Draymond made the difference after him getting suspended for a game to made that 3-1 comeback possible for the Cavaliers, and that was in 2016, right? Like,
yeah.
Sometimes you need big bro on the floor with you to go to war with you. All right, so we're going to stay in the Eastern Conference, and up next we're going to talk about something that I liked. It's not a secret that I'm a big Kyrie Irving fan. Kyrie Irving gets a lot of bad media. I'm not saying he doesn't bring a lot of it on himself, because he really does bring some of it unintentionally on himself. But at his core, he's a good person. I don't know if y'all heard, but recently he's made a really selfless move. He told James Harden, "You are the point guard." And I feel like that move, we may look back on it if the Nets are able to win a championship this season. They're going to definitely have to get their defense together. We're going to look at this as being one of those pivotal moments, because to be a championship team, it takes sacrifices, and it takes a lot of sacrifices. I don't want to see anybody other in the league dribble the ball than Kyrie Irving. I love the way Steph dribbled the ball. Who else got that thing on the string in the NBA?
CJ
McCollum?
Yeah,
so it's a couple other players. What's the name? Be snatching people too. Smith for the Wizards.
Yeah.
So like, but like I say, I love seeing Kyrie dribble the ball, and for him to be like, nah, Harden, you the point guard. I felt like that was very selfless of them. Now, is this the move that will put the Nets over the top? Weez, go.
Shit, that, to be honest, they was gonna be good regardless, but it make the most sense though. You know what I'm saying? Especially looking back at Harden's career when he was with OKC, coming off the bench when all three of them was in the game. He was the point guard,
He
like
was.
the facilitator. Like it just make more sense to be honest. He averaging like what 10.5 assists since coming with the Nets. You know what I'm saying? Like. And then Harden already said he'd take the step back on scoring like I feel like he a better passer anyway than Kyrie, not a better dribbler, not a bad dribbler, but a better passer, like facilitator.
He's certainly a better facilitator.
Yeah. He see the floor better. You know what I'm saying?
That's important.
And then he going to look to get Kyrie and KD going, like as he already proved. Like he definitely be finding them in transition and all that. He just gonna make it easier for him.
Right. Great point. Jalen, how do you feel about this move?
I feel like it's a good move. I feel like Kyrie has been a selfless guy off the court a lot of times. And now, the media portrays him as this selfish guy that doesn't care about no one but himself because, the media has such a lot of LeBron fans in the media. So,
right.
But I think it's a good move. Does it put them over the top? No, because defense is still something that has to be played in the NBA. And if you can't play defense, you won't win a championship.
That's a great point. And I'm going to use a parallel for all of my 2K fans out there. So, we shout out to Leverett Gaming. We play Pro-Am basketball. So I feel like on our team, I'm a utility guy. I love playing point guard. I think that as far as scoring, I can score plenty of points as the point guard. But as far as facilitating, Weez is much better at facilitating than I am. You know what I'm saying? So it's best if he's PG, if I'm, the on-ball defender. And I don't know if a lot of y'all play competitive Pro-Am, but a lot of times I'm the lock, or recently I've been playing like an undersized 5, which is weird, but it's like that. Somebody has to take a step back. And Harden and Kyrie Irving, my apologies, taking a step back. I'm telling you, it's going to be that piece. And I think this team got championship aspirations. Do not get it twisted. Defense gets better in the playoffs somehow. It happens in football as well. Somehow, defense always gets better in the playoffs. Never forget that.
My bad. But then Andre Drummond and Blake Griffin, they both not playing until they but until they get moved to another team or something like that. So be on the lookout for that.
That's a great point.
Blake with Blake with the Nets. I feel like now I was wondering what was wrong with Blake this season, but it makes sense, man. Makes all the sense. Even Drummond, right. Be a huge pick up for him. So it's still some pieces to be made, some moves to be made. So
it's one of them things like we talked about earlier. My apologies, I thought my phone was on silent. It's one of those things we talked about earlier. Legacy is important. We went to the Wizards game last year. I was telling Jalen how we was heckling his boy IT last year at the Wizards game. But I watched Andre Drummond, and I'm like, this dude can handle the rock. Like, he was bringing the ball up. Like, he was snatching people. Like, he gets his numbers, and I feel like people thinks he's garbage. He's really not garbage, like, at all. But you get to a certain point in your career, you start thinking about legacy. How will I be remembered? Will we be talking about Damian Lillard 20 years from now? We will remember him, just like we remember we remember Rod Strickland. But people don't remember how nasty Rod Strickland was, though. You know what I'm saying? Like will people be talking about Gilbert Arenas 10 years from now? Legacy is important. So you get to this point at Blake Griffin's career, you'd have made your money, you'd have had like really nice years as far as statistics. You want championship rings. You want to be playing meaningful minutes, and you're not gonna get that in Cleveland, and you're not gonna get that in Detroit. Not at this time.
And that's crazy. It seems like players always realize that in the later part of their career.
Always like that.
Like in the beginning, it's just about getting the money, stats, all-star games. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just find that funny.
It is, man, and it's y'all remember Chris Jackson that played with Shaq in college? He played with Shaq at LSU.
Nah, I don't remember.
Bona fide scorer. I think he became Muslim and changed his name to Muhammad Roof.
Oh yeah, sure. Yeah, he was in the big three.
Yeah. He's like 50 and can still shoot it. Yes, he was a bona fide scorer.
Man,
nobody talks about.
Crazy.
Nobody talks about him now. Yes, he can shoot. Nobody talks about him. Legacy is important. Championships are important, but we still talk about John Paxson. Steve Kerr's a coach, but we still talking about him. You know what I'm saying? Like for Legacy's championship, Robert Horry, exactly.
Hey.
Legacies are important, but we don't talk about Tom Gugliotta. He had some scoring years. You know what I'm saying?
Cuz got blackballed from the NBA, didn't he?
Who, Tom Gugliotta? Did he? I didn't know that.
Nah.
Oh yeah. Chris Jackson. Oh
yeah.
You know, yeah.
Wait, are you talking about Muhammad Abdul-Rauf? Did I say his name?
Yeah, something like that. Because I always used to mix his name with what is his name? Sharif Abdul-Rahim. I used to always mix their name up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got blackballed from the NBA. When I tell you, Jalen, he was cold. He can shoot, bruh. And he had Pat.
Man, if you see him like still at 50, how he was just cooking niggas in the big three.
Yes.
Like, it's like that. He's still like that. That's crazy.
He's nasty. Like people talk about Ron Harper. Ron Harper is another great example because he got the rings, but I don't think people know how nasty Ron Harper really was before those injuries, you know. He was a demon. So yeah, that's James Harden. Up next, we're gonna talk about the MVP race. Alrighty, to close out As Real As It Gets, episode 2, we're going to discuss the MVP race. I was telling Jalen, I think this might have been our last episode of R1P Weekly this past NFL season. And I was telling Jalen that I feel like the NFL kind of gets the MVP right every year, where it goes typically to the best player, the most deserving player. In the NBA, I don't feel like that is always the case. I really don't. So, up until this point now, I'm going to ask you, Jalen. I'm going to ask you, Weez. Starting with Jalen. Who is the MVP? If somebody, had a gun to your head right now, say, who's the MVP? Who's your MVP?
LeBron, just because, Joel Embiid is probably second. Then third, if you ask me, should be Steph Curry, Jokic. But I just think it's LeBron, really, because I think it's just been a thing in the media to, he didn't get it these past 2 years. He deserves it now. Of course, Giannis not going to get it because voter fatigue. But, I think LeBron going to get it because, he didn't get these past 2 years. I think voters feel like he's going to be, he has been robbed these past 2 years. So he's going to get it. And I don't blame him. I mean, he's only sat out, 3 games?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, his stats, I believe his stats this year are like 25, I don't know. It's probably like 25, 7 and 7.
Yeah.
But
LeBron stat.
It's LeBron.
Yeah, LeBron like numbers. All right, give me a dark horse, Jalen, before we go to Weez.
I'm about to ask that. Who your sleeper, Jalen?
Sleeper? If it had to be one, I would probably say Damian Lillard, just because what the Blazers are doing right now, and then you got to add on CJ McCollum is out.
Yeah, I feel like
yeah.
It's Dame time. Weez,
my sleeper.
Give me. Let's go in reverse order. Give me your dark horse and then give me your winner.
Oh yeah, Dame. I feel like Dame, what he been doing, like, and like I was listening to Stephen A. earlier too. I ain't gonna hold you, but he right. Niggas do be faking on Dame. Like Dame, he be getting the job done. I ain't know since he entered the league, he had the most clutch points out of everybody. Like, like I don't know. Dang, he improving every year, and it's gonna be interesting to see how they finish because he been playing good. Melo been playing good, and they without CJ too, or Nurkic. How you say his name? Big man, he ain't been there either. So yeah, that's my sleeper. But of course, I got
before you get to your MVP, you said something I wanted to ask you a follow-up question for it. Because Jalen said this when I was talking to Jalen yesterday. Me and Jalen talk sports all day. He said that he thought that if the Portland Trail Blazers don't figure out this year, it might be time to blow up the CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard situation. And here's what he said. He said that he thought that even though they're superior offensively, he thought they both lack defensively, and they can use a better defender at the 2 guard who's kind of a 3-and-D player. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like they're playing better ball without CJ McCollum, or do you think that Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum will be able to figure it out?
Oh shit! I feel like it's they two great players. Like I feel like they should be able to figure it out. If anything, add another piece to help them out. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. It'd be interesting to see like what would they do if they was to like blow it up. Like,
this what Jalen said. He's and I'm gonna let him go into it. Jalen, you made a parallel with how Brad Stevens was able to hide IT and how Steve Kerr was able to hide Steph Curry because they had an elite defender in Klay Thompson. And I was telling Jalen, I think Klay Thompson is a top 4 shooting guard of all time. So go ahead and explain why you kind of thought that it may be time to kind of wreck this relationship.
Because I mean, they're a good tandem, but like if you're a franchise, your key goal is to win a championship, and I believe like their max potential is a 3rd round, Western Conference Finals matchup, and I just don't feel like they're a finals team. I never felt that way. Like even when they made the Western Conference Finals, 2 years ago now, I still didn't feel like they were a finals team. But it's just like as long as Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum is still there, they're going to be getting picked on that backcourt. Especially since since LeBron and AD is in the West, it's just like I don't feel like anytime soon they're going to win. I feel like the best bet would be getting rid of CJ McCollum, trying to get good pieces back, and maybe trying to build around Damian Lillard a little bit more. Even though Damian Lillard is, I believe, he's 29, 28, somewhere in between that age. I just think maybe breaking that duo up is the best thing.
Got you, Weez. I'll give you the last word on the Dame Lillard, CJ McCollum discussion before you get to who you actually think is the winner of the MVP race as of now.
I don't really have too much more to add on to it. I'd just be interested to see who would be out there for him. Who would they try to get to replace CJ?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But I do think Damian Lillard is he's solid on defense. I ain't gonna say the same about CJ, but
right.
But like Damian Lillard, he definitely solid on defense, but CJ could get picked on, so I see where you going with that one. Yeah. But for my MVP, obviously LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But he just deserved. Been long overdue. You say last 2 years. It's been like 10 years.
Hey Jalen, what did I say earlier, bro? I said you can arguably give it to him the last 10 years, and he has this amazing quote. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. He was talking about Steph Curry. He was like 50, 40, 90. Great stats. He was like, but when we talk about most valuable, that is a different thing. And LeBron James is right. And Weez is right. We could have arguably given LeBron James the MVP the last 10 years. Jalen just said it a second ago. Voter fatigue. It's that. Me and Jalen also talk about the year that Derrick Rose won an MVP. And Jalen says, well, Derrick Rose should have won the MVP. I was elated when Derrick Rose won it. But Kobe could have won it. Kobe could have also won it the 2 years that Steve Nash won it. Like, the NBA.
Shaq too, right?
Yes. The NBA, I feel like the MVP race, how many years do y'all feel like they've gotten it right in the last 10 years? Where they've absolutely 100% best player got the MVP award and deserved that award.
I don't. It's been very rare. I feel like I can't. I don't know. I don't think Giannis should have got it last year. Definitely don't think he should have got it.
Nah, LeBron, this past season, if anything, LeBron James definitely deserved the MVP award.
Or that defensive player of the year joint. Felt like AD should have got that joint.
That's a great point.
I mean, that's a toss-up, though. Because Giannis, that's a toss-up. He more of a help defender, though. AD was locking niggas up.
Right. And checks an array of positions as well. Jalen, any last words?
Not really. I enjoyed doing this episode with you and Weez.
Hey, you already know. Weez, any final words?
Nah, man, appreciate y'all tuning in. Hopefully we can get more consistent with it. We got y'all.
Hey, man, this is As Real As It Gets, powered by Real Ones Productions. This is fun, fellas. We got to do this again. Hopefully we can get y'all another episode before next week. And then, like you said, like we say, just a little bit more consistency with it. It's really hard because my work schedule way different from Jalen's school schedule. And Jalen's school schedule is way different from Weez's schedule because Weez travels for work. But we're going to find a way to figure this out, even if I got to get Weez a portable setup. Like I say, we're going to figure this out, and we're going to figure out a way to also get a podcast out of this. So I am your host, Leverett KT, for Jalen, the journalist, a.k.a. Jalen Wilson, for Leverett Weez. Hey, we appreciate y'all. One.